which actually is not that really new. It has been around for a number of years already, but recently Volvo dropped their price of this car to around 169,500 ringgit, which takes it right into the territory of the Japanese executive sedan. So which makes this car very good value for money. Volvo has not really done a lot to change the look of the car. If you take a look at the front of the car, a bit of a change to the grille, and even the Volvo emblem is now a bit more prominent looking compared to before. This car also comes with this option for buyers, body kit in front for more styling. Plus you have the headlamps, it's been slightly restyled. So there's not much exterior changes other than those needed to give it a more prominent look. In the rear, Volvo has also restyled it a bit. This is standard on the updated Volvo S40 rear tail lights, and as for the rear spoiler, this is optional. It gives the wedge shape of the car sportier look, and it's definitely another option that buyers can think of. And of course, as with most Volvos, the good thing is always the boot. You can easily take 2 large suitcases inside without any problem. As you can see, I'm about 1.7 meters height. I usually have a bit of problem getting comfortable in many cars. Yeah, but with the S40, there's plenty of legroom. I'm comfy, and as with any Volvo, the leather seats are extremely comfortable. Well, this is a wonderful Swedish saloon, at least when you're sitting in the rear is concerned. This is the heart of the car, the 2.4 liter engine for the Volvo S40. Very solid, very reliable engine, outputting about 170 horsepower. Yeah. And according to Volvo, it gives you about 9.1 liters per 100 kilometers. So it's very frugal in fuel consumption as well. There you have it. We can only say that for at this price of about nearly 170,000, you're getting a European car for an executive saloon. Good value for money. As with most Volvo cars, the controls are very user-friendly in a very clean, functional layout. With the new or rather updated S40, there was not many changes except for some chrome inserts into the aircon vents. Yeah. Well, this is an option. The GPS unit, yeah, navigation unit, which you can stow away here for safety sake to the front of the car when you're driving. Okay. Yeah. So now we drive the car. So we take it easy, and being a Continental saloon, suspension is great. You have a multi-link suspension in the rear, which gives it very good stability.
Turn left.
Yeah, there's the GPS unit talking. Yeah, asking us to
drive 400 meters, then turn left.
As with most European saloons, you really get a solid feel of the road when you drive them. Unlike many Japanese or Korean Macs, when you just hit a bump on the road and the car just feels a bit floaty. So for the price of a Japanese executive saloon, you're actually getting a European ride and suspension, which is what it's all about. This is really good value for money.
100 meters, then turn left.
Bear in mind that this car comes with a 2.4 liter engine, so don't really have to press hard on the pedal to move.
Left.
I'm getting very gentle on the pedal now, but if I want to get more power, what I do is just press a bit harder, and the engine just rolls to life. Yeah, and as you can see, it's very stable, very easy to handle. Steering is a bit light, yeah, but it's very sharp and quite accurate.
100 meters, then turn left.
Let's take it out on the highway just to see how this car works.
Left.
So as you can see, it accelerates very fast.
Turn left.
Road noise is not a lot. And handling is very
Recalculating.
reassuring.
Drive 350 meters, then turn left.
Nice, right?